Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to Richard and Amazon for the opportunity for me to talk to you about how Fairfax is using CloudFormation. All right, so who is Fairfax? Look, most people know us for the Sydney Morning Herald and the Age news sites. But if you look at this image, you're going to see there's a hell of a lot more that we've got. We've got sites such as Domain, one of the largest property sites in Australia. We've got RSVP, which is a dating site. We've got stuff.co.nz in New Zealand. We've got all the event sites for companies like City to Serve. We've got a whole host of regional and rural sites. Most of these are actually all in Amazon. And to manage all of these sites, we really have only one tool we can use, and that's CloudFormation. So let me give you a bit of an overview of CloudFormation that Fairfax has. It builds all our infrastructure. We don't use any other tools. We have 639 EC2 instances being managed by 404 CloudFormation stacks. The interface with CloudFormation via the GUI, the CLI, and the SDK. We have a whole bunch of requirements when we use CloudFormation. We need to be able to handle multiple environments. We need to have full region capability. It has to be fully versioned infrastructure. It really has to be highly customizable. It has to be very easy to implement. And we have to be continuously testing it. So how did we get to this state? Well, we've been using Amazon for 2 years, and it's been a bit of an evolution. We initially started building CloudFormation by hand. These are big monolithic templates of like 40k JSON. We didn't stay in this state very long. We moved up to monolithic templates. We had brought in a templating system, but they were still really big files. And we've now evolved to using microstacks from the templating system. So what were the major features that got us towards the implementation? We implemented templating. Templating was really big for us. We added lifecycle management. We've got a whole host of standards in place. So let me talk about the templating. We implemented a templating system called Lorant. Lorant basically allows us to use Ruby to dynamically build a template. The features it had allowed us to share components between templates so we weren't rewriting them over and over. We let the template split to smaller chunks. It's far easier to manage that way. We could add logic to template generation. We could turn on and off features as we needed. And we could really improve the readability. We weren't looking at a 40k file anymore, we looked at tiny little pieces. Look at the example on the right. This is what a new engineer would see to actually build a template. It is far more readable than the JSON standard application. We added lifecycle management. We built an application called CloudCycle, and its purpose is to actually create and destroy the stacks automatically. This is all based on a time schedule. The reason we mainly did this for was actually cost benefits. We don't need our staging and UAT environments running all the time, so we turn them off at night. But we actually gained something else from this. We gained the ability to actually trust our environment. How did we get this? Well, when you're turning up your staging environments every night and bringing them back every day, and you know that they're reliable rebuilding, and if you're staging it, the template matches the same thing as your production template, you know that your production template is going to come back if there's an actual problem. We implemented standards. We made sure that all our CloudFormation templates have full region capability. It's really easy to do this when you first build a template. It's much harder to add it later. We made sure that one template could build multiple environments. We had a full versioning capability. So we want to be able to bring up production version 1 and production version 2 at the same time without any form of clashing. We put guidelines in place. That was things such as like how we named our stacks and how we tagged them. We wanted consistency when multiple engineers are working on the same systems. This is an example of the RSVP site that we run. There are actually 5 environments, but there are actually 24 stacks to build all of this up. But when you deeper dive into it, It turns out there are actually only 5 templates that we required, and it ended up being 3 unique templates. 4 of them had one common template behind them. That's quite easy to maintain. So let me just look back at the implementation review. The number one feature that we got out of this that made our life way better than engineers was templating. You really want templating. Lifecycle management gives you cost savings. It gives you the ability to track. We put standards in place. You've got a whole team working on this. You've got to be doing it all the same way. So what we did right. The templating language is fantastic. The lifecycle management worked very, very well. We made sure that all our templates always were using autoscaling. We moved to the microstacks model fairly quick. Our user data ended up being really quite manageable because of the templating system. We tagged everything, so we knew exactly who wanted all the infrastructure. And we tried to use as much ephemeral as possible. We wanted everything to not really contain a state. To be honest, there's a whole bunch of things we could have improved. When you first move into Amazon, you generally do things manually. So the networking components are required early, and we did them by hand. You need to put them into your CloudFormation from day one, and we'll hurt you later on. We didn't get to leverage sub-accounts and VPC peering. Well, they didn't exist when we started. We're very dynamic with our AMIs. You really want something to lock them down. We didn't use IAM roles as well as we could have. We definitely should have leveraged that capability more. You want lots of outputs in your stacks. Sometimes you get a bit lazy about doing them. They're great stuff. And we didn't use continuous integration for managing the CloudFormation templates. You want to treat this like a normal development application. Put it in the same system that dev uses. So I wanted to just show you the links of the 2 main tools that we use. Lino, CloudCycle. They've also created their own little Ruby DSL that tries to deal with some of the issues that Fairfax has with chaining stuff together. It's called Tempest. We've got open source that. We've got our blogs that have a whole host of technical information. Check those out. We've got our code repositories with lots of different applications in there for you to try out. If you've got any feedback or questions, you can certainly contact me on Twitter. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. So hopefully that gives you